right, Shalom. We're going to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Kakwadash. Yahweh is the true, holy, and powerful name of the Heavenly Father. Bahasham, meaning the name. And Yahweh Shai is the true, holy, and powerful name of his only begotten Son, who is the Savior of the nation of Israel, starting off with the elect. Within the nation of Israel, Israel consists of the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, as well as your Israelite foreigners scattered abroad that may look like the nations where you've been scattered to, but are Israelites. We're also going to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect pushing out this word in all sincerity and in truth. All right, so these we're the brothers from the GMS branch out of Des Moines, Iowa, coming back at you with another lesson inspired by the Holy Spirit, Habakkuk. And as you see in the title, you know, I actually forget what
he kept his wrath forever.
Yeah, he kept his wrath forever. That's right. And just thinking about these times that we're entering into, you know, in different situations that have been happening and things that have been going on kind of in the spirit, you know, these devils are really about to start showing their horns. And a lot of our people are stuck in that mindset that Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is nice and benevolent. As the scripture says, you know where that's at? I think it's Corinthians made himself like an angel of light. And we can just start off with that and get into it. Oh, and then Isaiah 32. Yeah, because our people are in that mindset. They think that Esau is still this guy that shows love into them and everything like that. But the Lord is going to allow him to show his horns in these last days, man. All right, and everybody, all of our people that are stuck, are joined into this devil. They're going to be destroyed, man. All right.
You want to get straight to the point, or?
Yeah, kind of. Probably.
This is 2 Corinthians 11 and 14. It says, "And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light."
That's right, man. And the scriptures talk about he who's coming is after the coming of Satan. All right, speaking of Esau, Edom. So he's transformed himself into an angel of light. All right, he's pushed out this persona that he's good. All right, that's why he placed upon himself. All right, the term being white. All right, symbolic for purity, upright, and so on and so forth. But this is the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. He's doing biochemical warfare against you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, poisoning your food, poisoning your water, all these things, man. All right, and our people are still clinging on to this devil, man. But it's going to show forth, all right, the Lord is going to show forth that this is the devil, man, especially in these times that we're entering into. This, you got one? Go ahead.
You know, just verse 15. It says, "Therefore it is no more, it says, therefore it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works." So like the brother was explaining, man, you know, here it is, Esau and what? All his cronies that come after him, man. You know, you got your Joel Osteens, you got even the black devils, man. Your Creflo Dollars, your what's the other nigga name? The fat nigga, TD Jakes, man. You know, you got all these guys who coming in that spirit of Esau and that spirit of deceit, you know.
Mm-hmm. This is Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 5. It says, "The vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful." All right, it says the vile person, that's speaking of Esau, Edom, says shall no more be called liberal. You look at the word liberal, it means to be noble. All right. So this is the times that we're in where the scriptures talk about his wickedness being revealed, or the skirt being lifted up on this devil, man. Now everything is being pushed out. All right. Now this devil is being known as being a pedophile. All right. These are things that he's been doing behind closed doors. I was watching the video. I forget which brothers it was, but they had played a clip of a news article where these pedophiles, all right, what they're doing to escape judgment, they will flee to Israel. All right, if they're so-called Jew, they have rights to flee into Israel and gain citizenship to escape receiving judgment here in the States, man, if they commit pedophilia. Now, these are all things that have been hidden for a time period. All right, these are your judges, these are your councilmen, these are your mayors, and so on and so forth. All their wicked practices, blood sacrifices, and things of that nature. It was a time where it seemed like, oh, these niggas is crazy. They're talking about the Illuminati and so on and so forth. But these things are being pushed out in the forefront, man. It seems like every week things are coming out about the Catholic Church and so on and so forth, man. You know, all these things are being revealed, man. You know, it says the vile person shall no more be called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. Right? That word churl, you look it up, it says fraudulent, deceitful. For the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity. to practice hypocrisy and to utter error against the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fall. But really just focusing on that point, man. All right. Even though he tried to transform himself into an angel of light, all right, he's going to be revealed, man. And he is being revealed, man, by the spirit of the Lord's mouth, pursuing the 2 Thessalonians, that's the spirit.
This is 2 Thessalonians 2. And I started 5. It says, remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
That's right, man. He's being revealed by the spirit of the Lord's mouth, and that's the prophets out on the highways and byways, man. And then it says that he shall be destroyed, all right, by the spirit of his coming, or the brightness of his coming, man. So that's going to be the end all be all for Esau Edom. Ultimately, Yahushai, or Yahweh Shem Yahushai, is going to destroy this devil, take him out of rulership, man. And especially for the things that he's done to you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Those things are not being forgotten, right? Those things will not be forgotten. All the things that we went through in captivity and slavery during the Greek Empire, during the Romans, all right? And Lord's will through the Spirit will get in some of those things, man, you know? But that same wrath that he had, all right, for us in those time periods that I mentioned, man, he's coming back with an even greater wrath in this time period, man. But what's beautiful about it, even when he comes down with great wrath in this time, all right, he's going to be met with greater wrath from Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. Yes.
It says, verse 9, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. You know, and then going back to the Corinthians we read, you know, about what Satan transforming himself. So he got that covering like he's this benevolent character, but yet inwardly, man, he's full of deceit. You know, he's the devil that the Bible speaks of.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 1 and verse 11. It says, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. So that same wrath that he's had, that ancient wrath, man, that he's had upon us, that same wrath that Esau had for his brother Jacob, all right, his inward thought after our forefather Isaac died, what did Esau say, man? He said when his father dies, he's going to slay his brother Jacob, man. And he still has that wrath. He still has that hatred in him, man. And it's being shown forth, man. Even my sister, she was telling me about, she had this little volleyball tournament, and then one of the coaches came up to her, and then at the end of the match, you know, you shake hands after the game and everything like that. She says she spaced away from the rest of the team. All right, so nobody was around, and then she shook her hand. She's like, "Yeah, you little nigger." Just called her straight, just a little nigger out of nowhere, man. You know, and these are things that it's just showing you the hatred. It's like, what the fuck did that come from? You know what I'm saying? Just little different things like that, man. You know. It's just small hints at the hatred, but it's going to intensify in these time periods that we're coming into, man. Because since after the civil rights movement, all right, Esau Edom has pretty much had to be PC, politically correct, because he has to work with Jake and so on and so forth. All right, they have different laws and regulations on overt racism and so on and so forth. But all those things are going to be shut down, man. When shit hits the fan, that wrath is going to be shown forth, man. Jake that has Edomite friends, all right, things of that nature, man. That those horns are going to show in these last days, man. That wrath that he's had is going to be seen. It says, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Salakia, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I would not turn away the punishment thereof. So as it says in Nahum 1 and 3, it says that the Lord would not at all acquit the wicked, man. So all the things that he's done throughout history, the Lord is going to make him pay for it, man. It says, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and kept his wrath forever. But I will send a fire upon Teman, which shall devour the palaces of Basra. So at the end of the day, man, this great judgment that we speak about Esau Edom having, it's because of what you've done unto us, man. It's because of all the wickedness that you've done unto us, man.
Yeah, this is Job chapter 20, and I'll start at 11 because the brother was speaking about these Edomites was happening to be PC for a while, but now they got that what make America great again, man. They got that Trump juice in them, man. So now what they coming back to them old feelings. This is the book of Job 20 and 11. It says his bones are full of the sin of his youth, and that goes back to that old hatred, man. So that old hatred is being stirred up, right? It says, which shall lie down with him in the dust, you know? So that old hatred, man, is coming back because this is the end, ultimately. You know, here it is. The spirit of righteousness is being pushed into the earth more and more. So guess what? That spirit of hate, that spirit of wickedness is being pushed more and more on the left-hand side, man. So these Edomites are coming back into their natural mindset. This is the book of Lamentations 4 and 21. It says, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shall make thyself naked. And that's what we're seeing happen. We're seeing the translation of that cup, man. According to Deuteronomy 30 and 7, the Lord is bringing all the curses upon our enemies. Why? Because our judgment or our punishment is up, like it's going to explain. Verse 22, the punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thy iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. And that's what's taking place. You know, Esau, Edom, his skirt is being lifted, like the prophecy says, you know. Matter of fact, this is the book of Nahum, the 3rd chapter. This is Nahum 3, and I'm going to start at 4. It says, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts that selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcrafts. And that's America today, man. Lines right up with, I believe it's Revelation, the 18th chapter. You know, the mother of harlots, as it's called. It says, verse 5, behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness and the kingdoms thy shame. And that's what's happening. You know, these people, the whole world is seeing Esau Edom for the devil, for the sick, demented creature that he is, man. Verse 6, and I will cast abominable filth upon thee and make thee vile and will set thee as a gazing stock, man. And that's what's happening. You know, everybody looking and seeing, hey, this dude is the devil. This dude is the problem in the cause of what's everything wrong on the earth, you know.
As a matter of fact, just on that point, I'll grab the book of Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse I'll just start at 5. It says, yea, also because he transgressed, I'll start at 4. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. And that's speaking of Esau Edom. The scriptures talk about how the pride of thine heart has deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, pursuant to the book of Obadiah, man. His soul is lifted up. He's proud as hell, man. And you even see it just with Trump. All right, he's pretty much the epitome of Esau, man, of Esau Edom as a nation, walking around with great pride, thinking that he can do whatever the hell he wants, man. It says, verse 5, yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long, and to him that laddeth himself with thick clay. That's right, man. So these nations are seeing these things. They're like, man, this can't go on any longer, man. All right. His rulership can't continue on any longer. It says, verse 7, shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. So everything is coming back on Esau's head, man. All these things that we're saying is happening, is all according to his wickedness, man. The Lord is a righteous power. It says that he will not condemn him who's not, it's not agreeable with the Lord's power to condemn him who's not worthy to be punished, man. So these great judgments that we read about is because he's built up his iniquities to be worthy of all these things, man.
This is Ezekiel 35 and 1. It says, moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it, and say unto it, thus in Mount Seir is a code name for Esau Edom, man. You know, it's talking about America today. Set your face against America and prophesy against it. According to Genesis, the 36th chapter, Esau Edom dwelt in Mount Seir, right? So it says, verse 3, and say unto it, thus saith the Lord of power, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. I am Yahweh Basham Yahushai. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, right? Meaning what? Ongoing hatred, man. You know? That he kept his wrath forever, like the brother read that Amos. That's right. Which goes back to what? That old hatred that was pretty much started back in the garden, man. The Lord said, I will put enmity between thy seed and her seed being the children of Israel, man. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord of power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. You know, and that's what the book of Numbers says, man. It says that what? The land can't be cleansed except by the blood of him.
This is Numbers 35 and 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land. And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
That's it.
So there you go. Hey, there you go, man. All the bloodshed of the Israelites, man. That's happened, man. This land has to be cleansed of that. And it's going to be through what? That sacrifice that the scriptures talk about, man. The sacrifice in Basra. All right. These Edomites, man, the Lord is going to lay this place desolate, man. As a recompense for what's happened unto the children of Israel, man.
Yep. And the Lord is going to allow us to get our hands on these heathen, man. Starting with Esau Edom, according to Ezekiel, the 25th chapter, right? Mm-hmm. Because this is what the Lord ordained. This is the book of Genesis 9 and 6. It says, whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of the Most High made he him. So whoever sheds man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed, man. So the Lord is just like how the Lord used these heathens to punish us. The Lord is going to use us to put hell on these heathen, man. Mm-hmm. That's why we're going to rule with a rod of iron, man, because we have to what? Give them back their recompense, which is a righteous thing in the eyes of our heavenly Father, man. Right. It says, he that leadeth in the captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. So here is the faith and the patience of the saints, man. This is what we patiently waiting on. You know, we're patiently waiting on our payback. We're patiently waiting for our for the Lord to use us to pay you devils back. You know,
that's right. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51 and verse 35. It says, I'll start at 33. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, the power of Israel, the daughter of Babylon is like a threshing floor. It is time to thresh her. Yet a little while, and the time of her harvest shall come. All right, and the harvest time is in the end days, man. The end of the world. All right, so it's time for the Lord to lay this place desolate. It says that Babylon, the daughter of Babylon, is like a threshing floor, man. All right, the Lord is going to lay this place flat, desolate, stomp it out, man. It says, verse 34, Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, hath devoured me. He hath crushed me. He hath made me an empty vessel. He hath swallowed me up like a dragon. He hath filled his belly with my delicates. He hath cast me out. The violence done to me and to my flesh be upon Babylon, shall the inhabitant of Zion say. And that's what we're saying, man. All right, all this wickedness that's been done to us, man. Hey, these Edomites, they're responsible for it, man, chiefly. Now, all the nations, as the scripture says, what nation hath not got a part in our spoils, man? All right, but it starts off with Esau Edom, man. It says, the violence done to me and to my flesh be upon Babylon, shall the inhabitant of Zion say. And my blood upon the inhabitants of the Chaldea shall Jerusalem say. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I will plead thy cause and take vengeance for thee. And I will dry up her sea and make her springs dry. And Babylon shall become heaps, a dwelling place for dragons and astonishment, and a hissing without an inhabitant. And there you go right there, man. It says that the Lord is going to take vengeance for us, man. And like the brother explained, all right, the Lord is going to use us to execute that vengeance when the time comes, man. Like that Ezekiel, the 25th chapter that he quoted. All right, talks about in the Psalms 149th chapter, man. All right, the saints sing with joy upon their beds with a two-edged sword in their hand to execute the judgment written upon the heathen. This is what's coming, man.
This is Zechariah 2.
Oh, you starting up?
Yeah. I mean, I was just man. This is Zechariah 2. I'm gonna get straight to the point. Verse 8. It says, "For thus saith the Lord, Lord of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you, for he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye," man. Hey, so the Lord got a recompense for the things that was done unto his chosen.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm. I got this real quick. You got someone else?
No, you go ahead.
Kind of. This is just an example, all right, of what these devils did to us back then. All right. And this is during the Greek Empire, man. And these same devils are back in power, and they have the mindset to do the same things, man. This is First Maccabees chapter 1, and I'll start at verse 56. It says, "Yep, and when they had rent in pieces the books of the law, which they found, they burnt them with fire." All right, and this was ordained by Antiochus, man. All right. So just like back then, the scriptures, the Bible, the covenant, all right, our way, our heritage was being demonized, man. The same thing is happening now, man. All right, they were actually burning and ripping up the scriptures in, and they're doing these things now by outlawing the scriptures, all right, making it seem like everything in it is wicked and so on and so forth, you know. But it says, verse 57, "And wheresoever was found with any the book of the testament, or if any consented to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death. Thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month, to as many as were found in the cities. Now the 25th day of the month, they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of the Most High. At which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised." And that's right. So here it is that we're even killing women that were trying to do right by the Heavenly Father, man. You know, these are things that these same devils that we walk around with, that you got a job with, all right, these same devils are back, man. That same hatred that they had back then is the same hatred that they have even to this day. It says, verse 61, "And they hanged the infants about their necks and rifled their houses and slew them that had circumcised them." Right. Here it is, a child, an infant, man. They didn't even care. They hung him by the neck, man. So hey, it's coming back, man. The scriptures talk about it. Revelation 12 and 12. I gotta smack that real quick. This is Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12. It says, "Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time," man. So he's coming with that great wrath. This is the time. As a matter of fact, it's going to say it back in that Maccabees, First Maccabees 1 and 60. I'm going to read 61 again. "And they hanged the infants about their necks and rifled their houses and slew them that had circumcised them. Howbeit many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing." And this is the same spirit that we want to embody, man. All right. No matter what persecution that we must go through, no matter what this devil ordains, all right, puts down the legislation and laws, all right, against us, man, we're going to still stand fast until the covenant of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. It says, verse 63, "Wherefore they chose rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died. And there was very great wrath upon Israel." So it was many times that we had to go through great wrath because of our enemies, man. And now we're going to enter into the final, all right, the final time that we're going to have to experience that at the hands of our enemies, man.
This is Hosea 13 and 16. It says Samaria, which Samaria is another name for the northern kingdom, man. The kingdom of Ephraim, right, and his fellows. It says Samaria shall become desolate, for she hath rebelled against her power. They shall fall by the sword. Their infants shall be dashed in pieces, and their women with child shall be ripped up. And what happened when Cristobal Colon came over here to the Americas, man? When the conquistadors came over here to the Americas, what took place, man? A slaughter of over 100 million Israelites, man.
That's right.
Northern kingdom, they were Israelites, which falls under the curses. See, this is a prophecy letting you know that there are people, man. You see, and it said what? We suffered these things as we rebelled against the Lord, right? This is Zechariah 1 and verse 14. So the angel that communed with me said unto me, cry thou, saying, thus saith the Lord of hosts, I am jealous for Jerusalem and for Zion with a great jealousy, man. Why is it? It says what? Verse 15. And I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease. For I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction. So what did the Lord do? When we rebelled, the Lord gave us into the hands of these heathens, according to what? This is Isaiah 47 and 6. It says, I was wroth with my people. I have polluted my inheritance and given them into thy hand. So when we rebelled, yeah, the Lord put these heathens over us. But guess what these heathens did? And starting with Esau, Edom, it says, thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid the yoke, man. So that's what these heathens did unto us, you know. It's another one in Zechariah, if I could find it. It speaks about how they say that they sin not.
Oh,
whose possessors slay them.
this is Zechariah 11 and 4. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, my power, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty.
And whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, man. And that's these heathens, man. They hold themselves not guilty. Go ahead.
It says, and they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord Yahweh, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not.
Meaning what? These coon ass niggas, man, that Esau put in positions of power. You know, your Jesse Jacksons and your Al Sharptons and so forth and so on, man. They don't have pity on their own people. Oprah's, right. The Gayle King, they don't have any pity upon their own people, man. You see? But it said, but it said what? Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Why don't they hold themselves guilty? This is the book of Jeremiah 50 and 7. I'll start at 6. It says, my people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds, right, the so-called leaders of the people, have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. All that found them have devoured them. And their adversary said, we offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord, the habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers. So these heathens' mindset is, look, we ain't holding ourselves guilty, or we're not offended because they're in the wrong. They're sinning. But see, but the Lord told you to do his prophets no harm.
That's right. That's not my
He said, he that toucheth you touches the apple of my eye, man. So here it is. You heavily laid the yoke, right? You didn't show us any mercy. And what does it says in the book of James? To him that showed no mercy, it shall be given no mercy, man. So therefore, judgment is going to come back upon you heathen, man. Starting with Esau, Edom. This is the book of Obadiah. I was just holding it. Man, I dropped it. This is the book of Obadiah, verse 10. It says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, which are the Babylonians, man. See, Obadiah is speaking about the time when we were taken down by the Babylonians, right? It says, we were carried away captive, and foreigners entered into his gates, that's the Babylonians, and cast lots upon Jerusalem. Even thou was as one of them. Even Esau was as one of those Babylonians, man. It says, but thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother, in the day that he became a stranger, which let you know Israel became strangers. This is a scripture that let you know that the strangers that's able to obtain salvation are Israelites, man. Side note, it says, neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. What it says in Ezekiel, the 36th chapter. They said, aha, aha. You know, Lamentations, the 2nd chapter, these heathens rejoice at our downfall, right? Revelation, the 11th chapter, it says that they sent gifts. They made merry, man. So they got drunk and had a good time at our destruction, man, right? It says, neither shouldest thou rejoice over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. So here it is. The Babylonians was ransacking us, man, and Esau Edom just had his way with us, man. You know, verse 14, neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. So here it is. It was Jake's escaping from the Babylonians, and the whole ass Edomites was there. Nope, there they go right there. There go more right here, right? It says, neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day. There they go right there. There go more right here, right? It says, neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day paid us back. What do we do to this devil? And this is what he paid us back with, man. You know?
Con, this is just to back that up. This is First Ezra chapter. Damn, that's the spirit.
This is First Ezra 4. And I'm gonna get straight to the point. Verse 45. It says, thou hast also vowed to build up the temple which the Edomites burnt when Judea was made desolate by the Chaldees, man. Which goes back to Psalms 137. They said, raise it even to the foundation thereof, man. You know? So this is the mindset of these of Esau Edom, man. Let's start. This is the mindset of Esau Edom. See, Esau Edom wants to eradicate us from off this earth, you know. And guess what? These heathens are confederate with him, according to Psalms the 83rd chapter. You see, but judgment is coming upon these heathens, man, for the things that we suffered at their hands. You know.
I'll go back to that Obadiah then, just to get that 15.
Oh, I'm right here.
Okay.
This Obadiah verse 15. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thy own head. You know, and what Isaiah the 34th chapter. This is the controversy of Zion, man. Yeah. You know, the Lord said, "Come near, all ye nations in here, man." So judgment, heavy judgment is coming upon these people. It says, verse 16. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. So is what? That cup being passed, man. We have the drink of the cup. Jeremiah, the 25th chapter, speaks about what, man? How you hold it?
Yeah, yeah. This is Jeremiah chapter 25. And I'll get straight to the point.
Start at 15.
Jeremiah 25 and 15. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, power of Israel, unto me, take the wine cup of this fury at my hand, and cause all the nations to whom I send thee to drink it.
Right. So what's in the Lord? What's in the Lord's hand? Now, this is the book of Psalms 75 and 8. It says, for in the hand of the Lord there is a cup, and the wine is red. It is full of mixture, and he poureth out of the same. But the dregs thereof, all the wicked of the earth shall wring them out and drink them. So this cup is full of the Lord's fury, man. Right? So this cup is punishment, it's judgment that's being given unto certain people. You got it.
It says back in Jeremiah 25 and 16, and they shall drink and be moved and be mad because of the sword that I will send among them, which lets you know it's the
what that cup is. Yep.
Exactly. Verse 17. Then took I the cup at Yahweh's hand and made all the nations to drink, unto whom the Lord Yahweh had sent me, to wit Jerusalem and the cities of Judah and the kings thereof and the princes thereof.
So we had to drink first. We had to drink first, man. Why? Because what did the Lord tell us? This is the book of Second Maccabees. It's the book of Second Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 12. It says, now I beseech those that read this book that they be not discouraged with these calamities, but that they judge those punishments not to be for destruction, but for a chastening of our nation. So the Lord gave us that cup first. The Lord gave us his fury first. Why? It's going to explain it. Verse 13. For it is a token of his great goodness when wicked doers are not suffered any long time, but forthwith punished. Meaning punished what? Right away, man. So we sinned and the Lord fucked us up, man. Verse 14. For not as with other nations, whom the Lord patiently forbear to punish till they become to the fullness of their sins, so dealeth he with us, man. So the Lord punishes us right away. So that's why we got the cup first, man. We received that cup first because the Lord whooped his children first. And then he's going to deal with the rest of the nations, man, because he's going to let their wickedness build up, as it said, you know.
I got one to back that up. Job 21 and 19. The Most High laid up his iniquity for his children, I'll start at 7 and jump down. Job 21:7. Wherefore do the wicked live, become old, yea, are mighty in power. So this is speaking of the wicked. Jumping down back to verse 19. The Most High layeth up his iniquity for his children. He rewardeth him, and he shall know it. His eyes shall see his destruction, and he shall drink of the wrath of the Almighty. Let you know he lays up his iniquity for his children, meaning that they come back, all right, and they're still going to have to pay for those things, man. You know. But
this is Wisdom of Solomon 11 and 9. It says, for when they were tried, albeit but in mercy chastised, just like how the judgment that was put on us, that was a chastisement of our nation, right? It says they knew how the ungodly were judged in wrath and tormented, thirsting in another manner than the just. So when we see the judgment that's going to be put on these heathen, we're going to understand what happened to us was mercy, man. It's verse 10. For these thou didst admonish and try as a father. The Lord whooped us as what? Like a father his son. It says, but these other nations, as a severe king, thou didst condemn and punish, man. So this judgment that's coming, man, it's like none other, you know? That's why I said Daniel 12 is a time like none other. It says scourges and plagues is sent for amendment. It says that all these things is going to happen because these people walk in great pride, roughly paraphrasing the scriptures, man. So great judgment is about to be upon this place, you know, and 2/3 of our people that want to be joined with this devil, they're going to get the wrath of the Lord, man. You know, if you could jump back.
Back in Jeremiah 25 and 18, to wit, Jerusalem and the cities of Judah and the kings thereof and the princes thereof, to make them a desolation and astonishment, a hissing and a curse, as it is this day.
As it is this day, man. So these people look at us, and it's a scripture that says, when the people walk past the land, and they'd be like, man, why did the Lord do this to this people, to this land? And that they're gonna answer and say, hey, because they sinned against the Lord. So it's made known, is evident. We're in this condition. Why? Because we sinned against our power, man. And these heathens know that, and they use that to their advantage. That's why everything that's promoted, who is at the forefront promoting it? Jake that sold out. You know why? Because that's how they get other Jakes to fall in line, man. So here it is. Adultery is promoted. Idolatry is promoted. Stealing, killing, robbing, drug use is at an all-time high, man. All that is being promoted just to keep Jake in that Gentile state of mind, man, to keep us away from our power. You see, and the heathen's gonna get judged for that too. What did the Lord say? It's impossible that offenses must come, but woe unto him that caused the offense, roughly paraphrasing. So there's a judgment for that too, man. You know,
it says back in Jeremiah 25 and verse 19, Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and his servants and his princes and all his people.
Mm-hmm. So we had to get the cup, but once the cup passed from us, now it's the hit list. Right. You know, it's the hit list.
Go ahead. Verse 20, and all the mingled people, and all the kings of the land of Uz, and all the kings of the land of the Philistines, and Ashkelon, and Azza, and Ekron, and the remnant of Ashdod, Edom, and Moab, and the children of Ammon, and all the kings of Tyrus, and all the kings of Zidon, and the kings of the isles which are beyond the sea, Dedan, Tema, and Booz.
Right now, what this is going into the ancient world, how the Lord used Nebuchadnezzar. Now in Jeremiah, the 4th chapter, the 7th verse, where it says the destroyer of the Gentiles has come out the way, the lion has come from his thicket, that was speaking about Nebuchadnezzar, because the Lord used Nebuchadnezzar to take down all these heathen.
Sorry.
He used Nebuchadnezzar to come take us down, and what all those heathen during that time, Egypt, Edom, Moab. The Lord used Nebuchadnezzar. That was the Lord's cup, his fury. But today, what, man? Hey, the Lord is going to punish all these people just the same, man. But go ahead.
It says, verse 24, and all the kings of Arabia. 23 again?
Yeah, read 21 again.
Okay, 21. Salakia. It says, Edom and Moab and the children of Ammon and all the kings of Tyrus and all the kings of Zidon and the kings of the isles which are beyond the sea, Dedan and Tema and Booz and all that are in the utmost corners, and all the kings of Arabia and all the kings of the mingled people that dwell in the desert, and all the kings of Zimri, and all the kings of Elam, and all the kings of the Medes, and all the kings of the north, far and near, one with another, and all the kingdoms of the world which are upon the face of the earth.
Which are upon the face of the earth, right? Which let you know this how the Lord is so cold within his prophecy, man, within his word. Because one verse is talking about then, and then it could jump to talk about, because Nebuchadnezzar, he let's go ahead.
It says, and the king of Shishak shall drink after them.
The king of Shishak being the king of Babylon,
So
Yeah, right. So he gonna drink after them. But go ahead.
it says, verse 27, therefore thou shalt say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, the power of Israel, drink ye and be drunken and spew and fall and rise no more because of the sword which I will send among you. And it shall be, if they refuse to take the cup at thine hand to drink, then thou shalt say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, ye shall certainly drink.
Ye shall certainly drink.
Yeah.
You see? So just like how the Lord used Nebuchadnezzar to forcibly have all them nations drink of his fury, who is the Lord going to use to make all these heathen drink of his fury today? This is the book of Jeremiah 51 and verse 20. It says, thou art my battle axe and weapons of war, for with thee will I break in pieces the nations. Then it said what, man? Hey, to him that overcometh will I grant to sit with me in my throne, as I overcame and sat with me in my father's throne. Man, that's what Yahweh Shah said. And he said what? That I will give them, a rod of iron, man, and they shall break the nation in pieces, man. That's what's about to happen. You see? It says, for with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms, and with thee will I break in pieces the horse and his rider, and with thee will I break in pieces the chariot and his rider. With thee also will I break in pieces man and woman, and with thee will I break in pieces old and young. So just like these heathens didn't have mercy on our old women, on our young children, right? On our old men, we're not going to have it. James said it, man. James 2 and 13, man. It says, I will break in pieces old and young, and with thee will I break in pieces the young man and the maid. I will also break in pieces with thee the shepherd and his flock, and with thee will I break in pieces the husbandman and his yoke of oxen, and with thee I will break in pieces captains and rulers, and I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, saith the Lord. So the Lord is gonna allow us to fucking wreck shop, man. What do you say? The remnant shall be amongst many people like a lion amongst sheep, and that's what's going to happen, man. When Jerusalem come out of those clouds, man. According to Revelation, the 21st chapter, when John seen those elect men coming back down, and that's when fun and games start, man. Psalms 149 is going to be implemented, man, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. You understand? Ezra seen the vision in 2nd Ezra 13. He said, I seen them coming up to Yahweh Shah, man. Some were bound, some were happy, some were sad. I'm hoping to be a partaker in that, man. To slap fucking collars on these dogs, man. But you got it.
Back in Jeremiah 25 and 29, it says, for lo,
Can you read 28 again?
28. And
it just sounds so good, bro. It just go ahead.
It says, and it shall be, if they refuse to take the cup of thine hand to drink, then thou shalt say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, ye shall certainly drink.
Ye shall certainly drink. What did the Lord say? This is the book of Isaiah 60 and 12. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted, man.
That's it.
Says if they refuse to drink, no, man, you shall certainly drink, man.
Right. Hey, just like Esau, man. Esau back in slavery, he used to break Jake's teeth open, all right, to force feed him, to eat and everything like that. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to be forced to you, man. Verse 29, it says, Jeremiah 25 and 29, for lo, I began to bring evil on the city which is called by my name, and should ye be utterly unpunished, ye shall not be unpunished. For I will call for a sword upon all the inhabitants of the earth, saith the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai of hosts. Therefore prophesy thou against them all these words, and say unto them, the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, shall roar from on high, and utter his voice from his holy habitation. He shall mightily roar upon his habitation. He shall give a shout as they that shred the grapes against all the inhabitants of the earth.
And it said it was time to thresh her, man.
Yeah.
And the brother said the harvest is the end of the world. Well, we know that because I think it's Matthew the 13th chapter, where Yahweh Shah said, look, the harvest is the end of the world, man. In Revelation, John seen the angel, he said, throw in thy sharp sickle. Mm-hmm. It is time to reap. That's the end of the world, man. You see? And we're quickly approaching that time, and we see the prophecies popping off, man. We're seeing these things take place in our lifetime, man. Hey, what did the Lord say, man? Is glorious in our eyes, man. You know.
Verse 31: A noise shall come even to the ends of the earth, for the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai hath a controversy with the nations. He will plead with all flesh.
Mm-hmm. Judge all flesh. What did it say? Isaiah 66. He said, by fire and his sword shall he plead, shall he judge with all flesh, man.
And the slain of the Lord shall be many.
That's right, man. And that noise is talking about what? Those missiles, man. Mm-hmm. Those missiles is going to be the end game. Go ahead.
It says, he will plead with all flesh. He will give them that are wicked to the sword, saith the Lord. Mm-hmm. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation, and a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. And the slain of the Lord shall be at that day from one end of the earth, even unto the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground.
Should be dung upon the ground, man. You know, and that's the judgment that's coming for the things you've done. What it says for the controversy, man.
That's right. This
is the book of Joel 3:1. It says, for behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again, right? The Hebrew word shawab, which means what? To return. The Lord is bringing us out of our captivity. How is he doing that? Through the anointing, man. It starts with this word. It starts with the truth. The truth shall set us free, right? It says, when I will bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there, judge them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land, man. So a judgment is coming unto these people, man. What for us, man? For our sake. What it's a scripture. The Lord says, I've ransomed many people for you, man.
Yeah, no, second Ezra.
You know, no, it's one in Isaiah too. That's the one I'm thinking of. One in Isaiah. You know, said I gave Egypt for thy ransom, Seba in Ethiopia. If I'm you know roughly paraphrasing the scripture. But to go back to Obadiah, it's verse 16 again. It says, for as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. Exactly, man. Just like how we as if we haven't been, man. Here it is. We no remembrance of our rulership, man. These heathen in our land, you know. It's like we haven't been. It's like we not a people. These heathen is going to be in the same boat, man. They ain't finna be talking about America and the great man. Hey, that shit ain't gonna be remembered, man. You know. Here it is, Russia, yeah, man. Russia and China, or China talking about we got next, and hey, that shit, man, all that shit gonna be wiped away, man. It says, verse 17, but upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions, man. So we gonna own you, heathen, man, as it is written in Isaiah the 14th chapter. It says, we shall have them captives who captives we were, you know.
This is Isaiah 34. I'll start at 1. It says, come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood.
Right, and Joel said that the Lord will gather them into the valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahushaphat, which is what they gathering in the Middle East. That's where the big war is going to take place, you know. And he said, why is he gathering them there? For his people, Israel's sake, man. You know, if I could jump in here real quick, because the Lord said, my anger is toward the nations, man. And we're explaining to you, we're reading it, why the Lord is pissed off at these heathen. This is the book of 2nd Esdras 15 and 20. And it's starting with Esau Edom, man. That's why his judgment is to fucking be eradicated from off the earth, man. This is 2nd Esdras 15 and 20. Behold, saith the Most High, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, in Libanus, right? And that's what's happening. The Lord is calling all, he putting his hooks into the jaws, turning all these heathen, right? One is going to say it. It says to turn themselves one against another and repay the things that they have done to them. That they done to who? Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen. So will I do also in recompense in their bosom. Thus saith the Lord power, man. It says, my right hand shall not spare the sinners, and my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth. So, hey, you got it.
God, this is back in Isaiah 34:3. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stinks shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree.
Right, and that's Isaiah explaining the vision that the Lord gave him, man. He seen the detonation, man. He seen the mushroom cloud from the explosion. He seen the missiles coming down, man. You know.
Yep. It says same thing John saw.
Yep.
Revelation 6th chapter goes into it. It says verse 5: For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. And that's speaking of the nuclear ICBM missile, man. All right, it's going to shoot down. The missiles are going to shoot down here in America, man, and in various other places as well, but chiefly here in America.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because this is the lake of fire, man. All right, and the Lord is about to light it up pretty soon. It says
it's an example, man. Just like how Sodom and Gomorrah was an example of how they should live ungodly. Hey, the Lord said, what? Edom shall be a desolation. Edom shall be overthrown just like Sodom and Gomorrah. And it said the same thing in the 50th chapter, Jeremiah, the 50th chapter, when it spoke about Babylon, man. So in 49, it said Edom shall be like Sodom and Gomorrah. Then the 50th chapter says Babylon shall be like Sodom and Gomorrah, which letting us know that Edom and Babylon are synonymous with each other in today's time, according to what? Psalms 137. O daughter of Edom, who ought to be destroyed, man.
It says, verse 6, the sword of the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua.
I think it said, O daughter of Babylon, who ought to be destroyed, you know. I think I said Edom. Anyway, it goes, you know.
It says, the sword of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, and the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Ooh, hey, that's why it says it shall go ill. It shall go ill with him that's left in his tabernacle. Yep. Meaning everybody on American soils, unless they are the elect and they get beamed up in those chariots, man, they're gonna be put to death by those missiles.
Well, that's why I said left. It shall go ill with him that's left in the tabernacle. Because the elect gonna get beamed out, man. Yep. You know, and whoever left here on this, man.
I want that smoke. It says the sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with the fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, and with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. And the unicorns shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. Verse 8, for it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of recompenses, for the controversy of Zion.
Yep. What did the Lord say in Isaiah 63? You know, he said, the year of recompense. What did he say? Vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeemed is come, man.
Yep. So
the Lord, hey, he said, I will cry like a travailing woman, man. We read it in Zechariah. The Lord said, I am jealous for Zion's sake. You know, matter of fact, since we spoke about that word jealous, let's go back to 2nd Esdras 15, and let's jump down a couple verses. This is the book of 2nd Esdras 15. Let's read verse 52. It says, would I with jealousy have so proceeded against thee, saith the Lord, if thou hadst not always slain my chosen, exalting the stroke of thy hands, and saying over their dead when thou was drunken, set forth the beauty of thy countenance. And that's what it was mainly what they did during slavery, man. Fucking crack us over the head, man. Tell us to sing, you know. Do whatever they want, all kind of vile acts to us, man. Raping our women, you know, butt breaking our men. It says, verse 55, the reward of thy whoredom shall be in thy bosom, therefore shalt thou receive recompense. It says, like as thou hast done unto my chosen, saith the Lord, even so shall the Most High do unto thee, and shall deliver thee into mischief.
That's right.
And that's what's coming, man.
That's right.
You know. Well, I guess I'll end it on this. This is the book of Psalms 137 and 7. It says, remember, O Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, the children of Edom, in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who ought to be destroyed. You see how it ties in Edom with Babylon together, man? It says, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones, man. So starting with Esau, Edom, and all the things that you've done unto our people, man, it's going to be done unto you, man. The cup that we had to drink, and what it says in Revelation, matter of fact, let's grab that. It's the book of Revelation 18 and verse 6. It says, reward her even as she hath rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double, man. So that's what's coming, man. You know, that's what's coming, you know.
This is 2 Thessalonians 1 and 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. Hey, so, hey, it's going to be a beautiful thing, all right? And for the Lord to finally allow us to pay these devils back for all that they've done unto us, man. And the Lord is going to be with it the whole way.
Yep. Because like the brother said, the Lord is going to be with it the whole way. Why? Because the Lord is orchestrating all this. This is the book of Zephaniah 3 and 8. This is what the Lord tells us, man. Therefore, wait ye upon me,
Right,
saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger. Then we read that Isaiah 34. It says, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy, man. And what jealousy is that? That's the of Zion, man. You know.
Hey, so having that being said, Lord will, that was edifying. We're going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakwadash, the honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hope of the elect, pushing out this word and also saving the truth. With that, we're going to say shalom.
Shalom.